Did you know that 27% of patients who enter the intensive care unit in America with hypoxemia don't make it? It's true, and it is an overlooked condition that too often ends in tragedy. Hypoxemia occurs when the oxygen levels in your blood drop off and can be caused by a variety of reasons. It can happen when you can't breathe in enough oxygen or when the oxygen isn't able to get to your blood. If this happens to you, you have to be able to identify it quickly in order to do something, which is why today we are covering 10 warning signs of low oxygen in your blood that you should be aware of. Signs of low oxygen in the blood can be pretty subtle, so make sure to stay tuned so you don't accidentally miss one. Number 1. Dizziness. Because your body is struggling to take in oxygen, you may feel a little different than usual. The signs of hypoxemia often involve unusual feelings such as dizziness, so it's important to take these feelings seriously, especially when multiple symptoms occur at once. Since your body is losing oxygen, it may be affecting your balance, mobility, and how you perceive the world. People who have suffered from low oxygen in the blood commonly report the feeling of dizziness passing over them, and they can also struggle to know what is happening or where they are. If you suddenly feel lost or like you can't stand without support, this isn't a normal thing and something you should keep a close eye on. Dizziness in this case is a result of oxygen being unable to get to your brain and your system struggling to keep going as a result. Number 2. Fast heart rate. Not only can you start to feel dizzy when you suffer from hypoxemia, but you may also start to experience a rapid increase in your heart rate. Since your body is not getting in the oxygen it needs, it is going to try to pump through more blood to see if the problem will solve itself. Since you are having a hard time providing your body with oxygen, this is obviously not going to work, but your body doesn't know that. On top of all that, oxygen is an incredible important resource and one that your body is going to freak out about if you aren't getting it. If you find yourself in a scenario like this one, the recommended approach by medical experts is to try to remain as calm as possible. Being unable to breathe or get air into your body can cause panic. But if you freak out, you're only going to speed up your heart rate even more. Number 3. Muscle cramps. Did you know that athletes today will try to eat or drink beets to improve their performance? It's true, and it actually works too, because beets help improve the flow of oxygen to your muscles. You see, our muscles need oxygen to be able to perform, and without it, they would really struggle. That's why one of the bigger warning signs that you don't have enough oxygen in your blood are muscle cramps, and they will tell you pretty soon after the shortage occurs. Because these muscle cramps aren't the result of any kind of physical activity, they will be especially weird and pretty noticeable as well, since you may get them while sitting or lying down. Muscle aches and even cramps aren't all that uncommon every once in a while, but if you feel like you're getting a lot of them in a short period of time, it may be a sign that your body isn't getting nearly enough oxygen at the moment. Number 4. Chest pain. There are a lot of reasons why you may experience chest pain, so we are going to try to explain what it would feel like as a result of hypoxemia. It could feel like a burning sensation, since the shortage of oxygen may cause you to wheeze or cough pretty hard. It could also be the result of your heart beating quickly and the stress that your body is under. Sometimes, hypoxemia is often triggered by being in a high-altitude environment, so you may feel chest pain because your lungs are struggling to adjust to the newly increased demand for air. Like we said, there are a lot of reasons why you might experience chest pain, both in general and as a result of low air levels in the blood. Probably the best thing for you to do, if you are worried about the chest pain though, is to see if any of the other symptoms we mentioned on this list are also happening around the same time. If so, these may all be symptoms of low blood oxygen and could require immediate action. Number 5. Heavy legs. Human beings can get so used to how our body functions normally that it can be pretty jarring when something goes wrong. Oxygen is essential to life, and without it, our body can start to fade pretty fast. One of the most common tests to see if you have hypoxemia is to do a 6-minute walk to see how fatigued you feel afterward. People who aren't getting the proper amount of oxygen often report how hard it feels just to lift their legs, and that's because they aren't getting enough oxygen. Our legs have some of the strongest muscles in our body, and without oxygen, They can feel more like a burden than a blessing. On top of that, walking may feel uncomfortable since you may be dizzy, confused, or getting weaker by the moment. Heavy legs, especially if you haven't worked them out recently, are definitely a warning that something might be going on. Number 6. Weakness. One of the most common signs that your body isn't performing at optimal levels is a feeling of fatigue or weakness. If lifting household items feels much harder than usual, or if you lack the ability to move yourself around like usual, your blood may not be getting the air it needs. Weakness is definitely a red flag from a health perspective, but there are also other factors that may be causing this issue. If you aren't eating, or you're skipping sleep, or just aren't properly taking care of yourself, that could be the cause here. But if you suddenly feel weak and can't explain it, and are also experiencing some of the other symptoms we've mentioned, then it may be one of the signs of low oxygen in the blood presenting itself. Number 7. Confusion. While weakness is a pretty good indicator that something is wrong, there is perhaps no bigger indicator of hypoxemia than confusion. Usually when confusion occurs as a result of this condition, it means that enough time has gone by to starve your brain of oxygen too, which means that things are getting pretty serious. There are levels of intensity when it comes to hypoxemia, and confusion is usually an indicator that the condition is a bit more on the severe side. You may become forgetful, not realize why you're doing something, or lose track of a task partway through doing it, among other things. Confusion is scary in this case because you may not be in a state to properly diagnose yourself, but it should be fairly obvious to observers around you, especially if they know you. Number 8. Air hunger. When you are going through an intense exercise session, you may feel a strong drive to gulp down large quantities of air with every breath. This is called air hunger, and it is an urge that makes sense from a biological point of view and isn't usually dangerous. Air hunger can also occur as a result of infection or from hypoxemia, and in this case, it is a signifier that your body isn't getting the air it needs. Air hunger can often be a scary thing to experience when you can't figure out why it is occurring, and it may also cause you to hyperventilate or freak out as a result. If you feel this sensation coming on, trying to realize that everything is fine and that you have to find medical attention as soon as possible could be helpful in that moment too. Number 9. Nail changes. The fortunate thing about a condition like this is that there are many symptoms throughout your body to help you figure out everything isn't all right. One of them is that your fingernails, as well as possibly your toenails, will go through changes. The shape of your fingernails, as well as how strong they are, can help you figure out if your body is getting enough oxygen, and growing them out a little can help figuring that out even easier. Sometimes a person's fingernails may also become blue as a result of low blood oxygen levels, and this is known as cyanosis. Your nails can be a really good indicator of your blood oxygen levels, so taking a look at your hands may be more than enough to determine what's going on. Number 10. A blue tinge to the skin. One of the most noticeable and probably shocking changes that you can go through is a slight blue tinge to your skin. Now, this doesn't mean you will appear bright blue or anything like that, but you may look pale with a slight blue undertone. Most of the time, people won't even be able to notice it, but they will notice that you look a little under the weather. That, along with your potential confusion or dizziness, definitely will paint you in the light of someone who appears to be ill, and you may even notice it yourself too. This symptom isn't the most common one, and usually indicates that the problem has been going on for some time. It may seem like a very serious turn of events, but it doesn't have to mean that it is life-changing. Many patients who see a doctor because of their blue-tinted skin are able to make a full recovery once the cause of their condition is discovered. Here are 2 more videos you may find interesting. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share the video with your friends. And for more interesting videos on health, subscribe to the channel.